Good morning. This is Audrey, Stitchy Witch 42. It is Tuesday, September 19th, and today is my firstborn child's birthday. So, Aaron, happy birthday. I love you. I am so proud of you, and I just want to wish you a fabulous day. So, last week I told you a little bit about how J.R.R. Tolkien affected my life, and there have been other authors who have affected my life, but this one I kind of embrace in a humorous way. Douglas Adams, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. If you look at my screen name, Stitchy Witch 42, you see his influence, because those who know Douglas Adams know that 42 is the answer to the mathematical question, what is life, the universe, and everything? Last week he failed me. There is a line in his book, and I'd like to read it to you. It says, there is an art, it says, or rather a knack to flying. The knack lies in learning how to throw yourself at the ground and miss. I didn't miss. Last week the water heater went out, and so I decided to take advantage of the fact that the laundry room had to be cleaned out to get it painted. We had remodeled 4 years previously, and everything was done except for the painting. So, since everything had to come out of the laundry room, I figured I was going to paint. I spent Tuesday cleaning out the laundry room. When our son Philip came down, he got the washer and dryer out of the way, so that evening when Mark got home, they could swap out the old heater for the new one. So I spent Tuesday morning painting the one back wall of the laundry room and behind where the washer and dryer would be. And that was about all I could get done. Wednesday, after I got home from work, I decided to go finish the rest of the room and the ceiling. We have a sloped ceiling that is higher over the water heater and the freezer than it is on the back wall. So I had planned on using an extension pole, but the one we had was too long for me to use. So instead I decided to use the step stool. And I would load up my roller, I would climb up the 2 steps, hold on to the handle on the back, hold on to the water heater or the freezer, and I would paint the ceiling and go back down the step stool, load up my paint, repeat. This worked for about 3/4 of the ceiling. And then all of a sudden, for no reason at all, instead of climbing down, I stepped back into air. And I did not fly. Instead, I crashed into the bar stool that was behind me that had some of Mark's tools on it. I slammed into the wall, and I landed on the cement floor. And then, to add to that, I toppled over to my left. So I threw my left arm into the tray of paint that was on the floor. And then I sat there, shaking, trying not to cry. I didn't. Thinking to myself, I have to get up. And here I have to insert a little bit about me and my physical abilities. I have problems with my legs and my feet. I've had both knees replaced. I have a plate and 7 screws in my left ankle. I went dancing with a friend, slipped, fell, broke and dislocated my left ankle dancing to Footloose. True story. I have arthritis in both feet and ankles, and it's worse in the right side than it is in the left, but it's getting there. And I have issues with feeling in my lower right leg from a wound from a car accident, that the wound itself looks like something took a huge bite out of my leg. So when I heard both McKenna and Jay refer to their scars as shark bites, I got a giggle, because I have referred to my wound as my shark bite since 1989. And yeah, I have issues with my legs and my feet. So I had to get myself up, which means rolling, twisting, turning, not getting on my knees, pushing myself up. It's really not a fun procedure to watch. But I did. And I went in the house and got myself cleaned up and then decided that I was done painting for the day, and I decided to go sit and stitch. So, Douglas Adams, there is a knack, it says, or rather a knack to flying. The knack lies in learning how to throw yourself at the ground and miss. I missed. So, on to the next portion of my video. I have a guest today, and I would like to introduce her to you. So I'm going to twist my camera, and I'm going to introduce Hagatha. You may have seen her sneak a peek in the library last week. She has been in my life for 18 years. I think she was a simplicity pattern. One of those witches that crash into the trees, only I could never make her crash into the tree because she's way too pretty. I've had her for 18 years. And her body is PVC pipe, and her feet and her hands and her face are all stuffed with polyfill. And she mostly hangs out upstairs in the library contemplating life, the universe, and everything. But last week I was out shopping, and I decided that Hagatha needed to have a present because I saw this absolutely fabulous hat. And so we are going to swap out her old black witch's hat today, and we're going to give her some bling. McKenna, because of you, I saw this, and I just knew that Hagatha is going to rock the sequins. Now, how about some stitching? I have a bunch of stuff to show you. None of it is new. I was getting out stuff to decorate my house for Halloween because we all know that September is pre-Halloween and it is the time to decorate the house. So I have got all of my previous Halloween stitchery, and I would like to share with you the things that I have made. The first piece that I made, first of all, when I started stitching, I didn't have the internet. I didn't have Facebook groups. I had Michael's. And that was okay for a while. I didn't even know about local needlework stores. All of that came later. But we got the internet, and one day I was searching through it to see if I could find cross-stitch patterns, and I came across this site called Mystic Stitch. And wow, I was in love. They have beautiful, beautiful pieces there. They're all full coverage. They have taken artwork and turned it into cross-stitch patterns, and I found this one, and I knew that I had to make it because I just love their faces. But I also knew that if I had to make this one, I couldn't put it away for 10 months out of the year. So I decided to turn it into a footstool cover. This is Trio. Do they not have the most fabulous faces? I absolutely love them. Like I said, turned this into a footstool cover. It sits out in the living room, and mostly it has my cross-stitching bits and bobs on it, but they are out all year long because they're just too fabulous to put away. So this is Trio. And then last week I also mentioned that, I mentioned my sister Patty. Patty has enabled me with a lot of cross-stitching and needlework ideas. And the first one that she got me to do was my little Halloween tree. This is not cross-stitch, it is needlepoint. And she had taken me up to the needlework store in Portland called In Stitches, which mostly deals with needlepoint, and bought this for me. Yeah, she bought the beads for me. She showed me the stitches so that I could do this, and then I took it back there to have them finish it. It sits in a little bobbin, which I didn't have, so I took one of those cardboard bobbins that we all bobbinate with and gave it to my husband and asked him to make me a wooden spool, and he went and turned this for me on his lathe. So this is my Halloween tree. The next piece I have is not one that I did. It's one that Patty did for me, and she chose it because this word describes me very, very well. It's wicked. It's also needlepoint, and again, this is Patty's work, not mine. Absolutely beautiful. And then the last needlepoint piece that I have is my poison bottle. Again, Patty got the pattern for me, taught me how to do the stitches because she did needlepoint a lot more than I did, and she helped me with this. She enables me, she really does. Mark made the frame, and this is my poison bottle. Hag's going to help me hold on to things. Then the one she gave me that I love and hate. I hate it because it was 1/1. I love it because of the design and the color and the fact that she got me all the bits and bobs for it. Is Girls Night Out. This is a Blackberry Lane design. I know, because I'm reading my notes. Anyway, it is stitched 1/1 on 28 count crystal Kermit. She picked out the fabric. She got me the top and bottom pieces for the bell hanger. This piece took me almost 2 years to complete. And I'm very fortunate. I have a friend who is a seamstress, and I asked her to finish it for me. And she did this fabulous job of finishing that for me. And she didn't charge me for it. I took her out to lunch. I think I owed her more, but she was happy with just going out to lunch. So, the next one that I want to show you was my first piece on linen. Like I said, my sister Patty has taught me a lot about needlework, and she is the one that introduced me to not only the needlepoint store in Stitches in Portland, Oregon, she also introduced me to the cross-stitch store, Acorns and Threads in Portland, Oregon, and go there. If you are in the Portland area at all, go there. The ladies are fabulous. So she took me to Acorns and Threads, and wow, I mean, there's patterns, and there's fabrics, and there's floss, and there's beads, and there's frames, and there's, oh my God, it was overwhelming, and it's beautiful, and it's wonderful, and the ladies are fabulous. And I found my first piece that I wanted to stitch on linen, Wicked Witch. This is Hinzeit pattern. It's on 28 count linen. It is not the called for linen. I just picked out something that they had there in the store, but I do know that it is 28 count linen. So this is Wicked Witch, and it came with all the charms. Hagatha, you look fabulous sitting there with your sequin bling. So the next piece that I did, also on linen, is from Turquoise graphic design. It's called Witch's Brew. Again, on 28 count linen. I have no idea what color linen it is because I didn't know I was supposed to keep track, but it is all the called for colors. This is the same style frame that I used for Evening in the Shire. It's one of many that came out of that box that Mark bought at a garage sale. So yeah, there's a lot of these. Then I did the Spell Store. This came out of the 2013 Just Cross Stitch. It is a pattern by the Primitive Hare. And the only thing that I really changed on this was the spider web up here. I didn't like the way the spider web looked in the pattern, so I changed it. And I realized after the fact that I forgot to put titles on my books. Oh well. And then down here I put an extra little spider web, and that's where I signed it. So this is the Spell Store. 28 count linen, don't know what color it is. One of the frames out of the box. The next is a piece that I stitched, an ornament. I did not finish this ornament myself. This is Witchy Kitty. This is a Brittercup design from the September-October 2011 Just Cross Stitch magazine. I stitched this twice. I stitched it the first time and sent it to a friend of mine, and then I stitched it again. This time it is on a gray 14 count La.D.Da, and I did use the glow-in-the-dark threads. So this is Witchy Kitty. The next piece. This is Witch's Hat. This is from the 2012 Just Cross Stitch Halloween edition. On 28 count linen, purple obviously, but I don't know what kind of linen it is. Again, they didn't have the called for linen at Acorns and Threads, so I went with this because I really thought that it would pop. The pattern in the magazine also has a spider hanging from the hat. I don't like spiders. I really, really don't like spiders, and it was just a little too realistic for me, so no. I wasn't going to stitch the spider. I'm sorry. Just no. Spider webs I can deal with, as long as I don't walk into them. But spiders, no. No. The pattern also had a border of full and half moons that I didn't really like, so I decided to leave them out, and this is my version of Witch's Hat. See? Okay. Then I have a pillow, and this one also sits out all year long. This is Something Wicked. By the pricking of my thumbs, Something Wicked This Way Comes by La.D.Da. And I did this in 2011, and it sits on my couch year-round because. Then McKenna did her Salem Remembered Sal, and I had found a free piece. I have no idea where this pattern came from, but I decided that I was going to stitch this to go along with her Salem Remembered Sal. And on the pattern, the year was different. I changed it to 1692, and it also left the space up here to put like a family name, like you would see on a tombstone. I didn't want to put my family name up there. It just kind of seemed like bad juju. No, not going to do that. And then it dawned on me, since I'm doing this for Salem Remembered, if I put Salem up there, it would look like a family name, and Salem has been haunted with the memory of the witch trials since 1692, so I thought that it just kind of all fit together. And this is the piece that I refer to as my ghetto frame. I found this frame at Goodwill for $1.99. It had a mirror in it. Took the mirror out. This is just taped to the piece of hardboard that's in there. And when I finished stitching it, I dribbled tea all over it. Terrified me to do that, but I dribbled tea all over it, and I actually think that it kind of enhances it. So this is my Salem Remembered Sal piece. And then I have another little piece that Patty gave me a pattern for. This one is Wicked. It is a free stitch that she got from Michelle Cozy Egg. And both of us, both Patty and I, stitched it. She used the called for fabric and called for colors. I decided to use 28 count even weave and mushroom, and I went and chose my colors, and I chose more traditional colors, the purples and the oranges and the lime greens. And this piece I finished using Vanna's tutorial. Vanna does a fabulous tutorial, and even though I watched it and took copious notes, I messed up. When I was doing my measurements and everything, this is supposed to be right along the edge of the design on both sides. If I didn't tell you, you wouldn't know that. But that was my mess up on my very first ornament that I completed myself. The cording I made using one of those floss bracelet kits. I had bought that for my granddaughters, Rowan and Riley, and we had made several floss bracelets, and I decided to use the leftover threads and braid it together using that, and that's what I used for the cording on my Wicked. And then the last piece I have to show you is huge. It is just huge. So I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to show you, but I'm going to show you. But first of all, my sister Patty. Have I mentioned I have a sister Patty? She enables me. She also gets me in a lot of trouble. But I love her. And it's not because she enables me or gets me into trouble. It's because she's my sister and she's pretty cool. She introduced me a couple of years ago to a catalog called Grandin Road. And if you've never seen it, check them out. They have beautiful home decor. And when it comes to their Halloween stuff, they have beautiful home decor. But it's spendy. And I had been going through the catalog that she showed me, and I found this piece, this mantle scarf, and I absolutely loved it. $59. Not a bad price, but at that time it was $59 more than I could afford for something, and I didn't know whether or not it would fit the mantle that Mark had built in our living room. So sorry about that. Are you all okay? Did you learn how to fly? There you go. Didn't have enough time, did we? Anyway, Patty gave me some more patterns because she does that. Cricut collections, 256, 250, or 275, 276. There's those four, and there's those four. I saw that mantle scarf and I thought I would really, really like to have that. And she had just given me these pieces and I thought, I wonder if I could make a mantle scarf. So I went to Picture This Plus. I ordered 3 different colors of fabric because I could stitch 3 designs on one piece, 3 on the second piece, 2 on the last piece, and I would have all 8 stitched. And then I went to Joann Fabric and, excuse me, got a burp. I went to Joann Fabric and I picked out my fabric, and Patty, knowing that I was making this, was very gracious, and she gave me a lot of beads, glass beads, to use in making this. So, sorry, this thing is, like I said, it's big. This is the top. This is the piece that sits on top of the mantle, and I'm going to have to do this in segments. But these are the ghost and the bat and the beads down below, and then there's the candy corn I'm looking between the flags because I can't see anything. And then there's my witch. She was supposed to have glasses on just like me, but we forget to put them on. Then there is the spider, the black cat. Do you see me peeking through the banners down here? The skull. And the pumpkin. There are 15 total banners, and each one of them has a bead that Patty got for me. She really does enable me, and I love her so much for it. So that is my Halloween banner that goes up on my mantle every year. Remember when I said that the $59 was a bit expensive for the banner in the catalog? When I was finished stitching all of that and putting it all together, I calculated the price and I spent over $250 making my Halloween banner. I took it to work and I was showing one of the guys that I work with who really loves Halloween too, and he goes, "You're going to let me buy that from you?" No. And then I looked at him and I said, "Sure, I'll let you buy it from me. I will give you a one-time only cash price. If you hand me $1,000 right now, I'll sell it to you." As you can see, I still have it. So he didn't take it. Anyway, those are all of my previous Halloween stitcheries. I thought that I would share them with you. And at this point, I want to say thank you. Thank you to everybody who has been watching my videos and who has left comments on my previous 2 videos and subscribed. Kind of blew me away. I want to say thank you to Vanna Pfeiffer for doing her tutorials and enabling me to try my own finishing for a flat ornament. To McKenna for teaching me that, you know, we can have sequins in our life, and Hagatha really does look good with her sequined hat on. And I also want to say a special thank you to Jay, Mortuary Stitches. Lady, when I saw you, I met a friend, and I saw on Instagram where you posted a picture of yourself stitching and you were watching my videos, and that really, really touched me. So I want to say thank you. Thank you for being my friend, and thank you to everyone out there who has watched, is watching, has subscribed. Thank you. I hope you all have a fabulous day, and please don't do like I did. Do not try to learn how to fly. Bye.